Hello YouTube, my name's Nero and today we have some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and what I'm going to be calling a review of the Ascendance DLC. Now if you guys don't know, the Ascendance DLC is the second DLC released by Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. It is available right now at the time of this video going up on Xbox platforms. It's been available since March 31st and it runs for about $15. What you get with it is 4 brand new multiplayer maps, a brand new Exo Zombies episode, as well as a brand new weapon, and a new playlist which will actually allow us to go ahead and play with grappling hooks, which will allow us to jump around the map, do all kinds of crazy stuff. The broad stroke, if you guys want the too long didn't read, I actually think it's a pretty good DLC. I like all of the maps. I feel as though the OHM is one of the cooler weapons in the game. I've actually been using it a ton, and Exo Zombies is just as good, if not better, than the first one. That's kind of the quick one, but now we're actually going to go into a little bit more detail as to why I actually think this DLC is pretty good and why I believe it's probably worth your money. So let's go ahead and hop into that. The very first map we're going to be looking at is going to be called Perplex. Now, Perplex is a very interesting map just by the sheer design of it. If you notice from the gameplay, you have a ton of different levels to which you can actually reach while playing on this map, and it's very, very hectic. If you are not a fan of playing Advanced Warfare and having people jump around a lot, then you're probably not going to like this map, because at any given time when you see somebody, unless they're already on top of a rooftop, they're going to be jumping to try and get higher. Picture this map as if it were almost like a pyramid in a way, and people are just constantly working and working and working to get higher and higher and higher and higher. There's no actual interior to the map, with the exception of these 4 buildings, which are basically on the corners on the perimeter of the map that people don't really go into too often anyway. So for the most part, it's rooftop warfare. It's very reminiscent of Favela from Modern Warfare 2, and I've actually had quite a lot of fun playing on this map. Now here's a pro tip: if you are comfortable with the burst weapons like the ARX or the IMR, use those on this map for those long range engagements between rooftops, because they melt, man. The ARX on this map is ridiculously fun to use. The next map we're going to be looking at is going to be called Site 244. Now, what this map is, in a nutshell, is basically we're right underneath Mount Rushmore. We are part of like some spacecraft which crashed, and this spacecraft also has to be carrying a bunch of alien stuff within it. That makes for the map-based kill streak, where you basically get to run around as like a super-duper alien guy, and that's kind of a cool thing. I personally haven't gotten that yet. I've played the Ascendance DLC about 4 or 5 hours worth so far, and I'm yet to actually be able to acquire it. I've actually even been running care packages on this map just to try to acquire it, but I've never actually gotten it, nor have I died to somebody that actually has it, which is pretty weird. For the most part, the map itself is one of my least favorites of the DLC, but it still plays rather well. I feel as though the setting could have been worked upon a bit more. You know, you look at the fact this is basically a giant down spacecraft. You look at the fact there's a bunch of alien stuff anywhere, and really what the map boils down to is you're basically playing in a bunch of rubble, like you are in just about any other Call of Duty map ever made. I think the setting could have been a lot better, but in terms of how it plays, basically you have the entire giant central area that is the spacecraft itself, and then on the outsides of it you have basically the outskirts. It basically makes it kind of like a 3-lane map in a way. Picture a left side, a middle, and a right side that people go along, which is definitely pretty nice. I've played a lot of team deathmatch on this map, and it plays pretty well. It does play pretty well, all things considered, I gotta say. It's just I really wish they would have actually taken the map and been a bit more creative with it, because I think they had a really cool idea for a design that they really kind of stopped halfway through. It's like somebody was like really inspired to make this really cool looking map in terms of a theme, and then that person like left for vacation, and then somebody else had to try and finish it for them or something like that. That's what it kind of feels like. But overall, Site 244 is not the worst map in the world. It's by far not the greatest. Like, I'm not getting excited to play on it, but it's a pretty good map overall. Next, we're going to be looking at Climate. Now, Climate, in my opinion, is the pinnacle of this DLC. I think Climate is one of the coolest maps in Advanced Warfare, and I really enjoy playing on it. So basically, we're in this biodome, and things are beautiful. The map layout is fantastic. It really kind of leads itself to a very good flow, whether you're playing objective game modes or if you're playing something more traditional like Team Deathmatch, where there is no objective and people can just go wherever they please. It's a very fun overall map. You get to use the water and how that really kind of affects the gameplay of the map, and then partway through the map, there's a dynamic event, which of course is going to make it so all of that water turns yellow and will actually kill you if you stand in it for say 2 seconds or so. It doesn't kill you instantly, but it will kill you rather quickly if you're actually trying to go in there. And it kind of changes the way the map is played a little bit, because you can't just run through the water anymore. You need to make sure you're very precise with your jumps with your exosuits to get from one area to another, or you have to watch these certain different paths that you're actually going along. It's really kind of a neat idea for a map. I really like the dynamic event that happens as a part of it. But overall, I think Climate is probably one of the best maps in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and is definitely the highlight of this DLC in terms of the maps. The fourth and final map we're going to be looking at is going to be Chop Shop. So Chop Shop itself, very fast-paced, very hectic. What I like the most about it, though, is the fact that it's actually a very symmetrical map. It's symmetrical on both sides completely. Therefore, if you understand what's happening on one side of the map, you can understand what's going to be happening on the other end of the map. Now, what this kind of calls for is the central building is a big focal point of the map where a lot of people constantly are going in there and fighting for each other. But also, there's like these long corridors on the outsides where people kind of like to camp there with assault rifles or light machine guns with my experience so far, and people like to go in the windowsills and whatnot. The map itself can either be very fast or very slow. It's one of those maps that really is going to be different every single time you play it, just based upon the lobby you're in and the players you're playing against and the players you're playing with. Because once again, it's a medium, almost to a large sized map where everything is symmetrical, so you can really do with it what you will. It plays pretty good, I gotta say. I think at first I tried using like assault rifles and things like that on this map, and just to try and take advantage of those long lines of sight that you can get from windowsills and those long corridors. But then I found that it's more beneficial for me anyway in my play style to run around with like a submachine gun or a shotgun, just get in people's faces, because people tend to try and play kind of passively on this map, and just to get right up in their face with a shotgun or get right up in their face with a submachine gun and try and take them out that way. It's not a brilliant map by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. I wouldn't say it's like the coolest map in the history of ever, but it's a passable map. It's decent enough, I think I would say, but it's probably my least favorite of the Ascendance DLC maps. If I had to rate these maps once again in order, I would say Climate would be my number 1, I'd say Perplex be my number 2, Site 244 be number 3, and Chop Shop be number 4. As for the OHM, the weapon itself, this gun's actually been out for quite a long time now, and there's been tons of videos of it on YouTube. And of course, I have a season pass holder, so I'm actually been using it as well. You guys know pretty much everything you need to know about the OHM. It's a very good light machine gun / shotgun hybrid. It's actually very powerful at ranges. Definitely a big fan of that. Exo Zombies. How's Exo Zombies doing? Well, I did a whole video yesterday talking about my impressions of Exo Zombies, but to kind of elaborate that in this video, it's good. I mean, if you like the first one, you'll like this one. It expands upon the story. It adds on a little bit more things for you to do, in that you get a brand new power weapon, you get a brand new area to explore, which includes Burger Town, which is pretty cool. You get a bunch of new traps to play with and things of that nature. It's basically what you would kind of expect. It's a good sequel to the very first one. You get to continue on playing, brand new area. The area, in my opinion, is a lot better than the first one. The first one I felt pretty confined, and I just didn't like the first area as much as the second area, but that's just my own personal taste and preferences. So I would say Infection is a pretty good Exo Zombie map, and you won't be disappointed if you go ahead and play it. And the final thing that we actually got with this DLC is actually that grappling hook playlist. And sorry to say, guys, I haven't played it. I don't know. Basically, you just zip around on a zip line. I've watched videos of it, but it does not look enticing to me at all. So I haven't really tried it out. And let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. You're not buying this DLC to go ahead and be able to play with an Exo Grapple playlist, which is only available on 4 maps right now. Right? Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. You're buying the DLC for the zombies, you're buying it for the weapons, you're buying it for the maps and things like that, and that's just kind of an added bonus if you would like that. But I did play about 5 hours of the DLC yesterday. I did not, unfortunately, try out the Exo Grappling Hook playlist, but I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot here one of these days, and we'll see what it's like. But I gotta say, it's probably just gonna be a gimmick playlist that we're not really going to see really make any headway into Advanced Warfare's actual multiplayer. So that was my review of the Ascendance DLC. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. Hopefully you guys found it all helpful, and if you guys could in the comment section below, let me know what your favorite maps are from this DLC so far. Like, if you had to rate them 1 through 4, like I did, 1 through 4, what would you rate them? For me, it is Climate, right, followed by Perplex, followed by Site 244, followed by Chop Shop, Climate being the best. So let me know your guys' opinion on that. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.